Hey everyone, welcome back to Fluency Podcast. It feels great to sit down again and talk about real everyday English. And I'm happy to be here with you, Nora.
Hi, David, and hello to everyone listening. I'm really excited about today's conversation because we're focusing on something that many learners want: English that you actually use in real life, the kind that feels natural and confident.
Yes, absolutely. English that helps you communicate, not just memorize rules. And I think the best way to explore that is by talking about our own experiences, step by step, like how we started feeling more natural in English.
Exactly. So maybe we can start with one question. What made you feel more comfortable speaking English in daily situations?
That's a good one. I think for me, the biggest change happened when I stopped trying to speak perfect English. I focused more on speaking clear English. Simple sentences, natural expressions, the things people actually say.
I relate to that so much. I used to worry about sounding incorrect or not using advanced vocabulary. But then I realized native speakers don't always use advanced vocabulary either. They use simple words, but they use them naturally and confidently.
Exactly. And I think the confidence comes from practice with small things. For example, I started practicing the phrases I heard around me. Sounds good. That works for me. Let me check. I'm not sure. Or give me a second.
Yes, those tiny expressions make you sound much more natural. For me, one thing that helped was listening to people in everyday situations, like in a cafe or in the supermarket. I paid attention to how people asked for things, how they responded, how they reacted.
That's a great point. Real life English is often shorter than what students learn from textbooks. For example, instead of, could you please tell me where the sugar is located? People say, where's the sugar?
Exactly. Or instead of, I would like to order a cup of coffee, people simply say, can I get a coffee? And that sounds much more natural.
And more comfortable to say.
Right. One thing that helped me a lot was choosing one simple expression for each situation and using it over and over until it felt automatic.
Same here. Do you remember any expression that became natural to you over time?
Yes, one of the first ones was no worries. It's such a friendly phrase. It means it's okay, don't worry, don't stress. People say it constantly, and once I learned it, it made my conversation smoother.
That's a great one. For me, one of the phrases that helped me connect with native speakers was, I get you, or I see what you mean. Those expressions show understanding without sounding too formal.
And they're easy to say, which helps a lot.
Let's talk about one thing learners usually struggle with, thinking too much before speaking.
Yes, many people worry about grammar in the middle of a conversation, but real life English is not about perfect grammar. It's about communicating your message.
Exactly. When I started speaking more naturally, I focused on the idea I wanted to express, not the structure.
Me too. And you know when I felt the biggest improvement? When I stopped translating in my head and just described things the way I would if I were talking to a friend.
Yes, that changes everything. Let's give an example. If someone asks, how was your day? You don't need a complicated answer. You can say, pretty good, not bad, a bit busy, or really nice. Those are natural, real life responses.
And if you want to add more detail, you can build slowly. It was good, I went for a walk. Or it was stressful, I had a lot of work. Short, natural, real.
Exactly. Let's talk about some everyday expressions we use often. Maybe that'll help listeners feel more native step by step.
Good idea. One I use all the time is let me think. It gives you a moment to organize your thoughts without sounding nervous.
Yes, that's great. Another one is, I'm not sure yet, which helps when you don't have an answer.
Or it depends, which people use constantly in English.
Yes, that one makes you sound very natural.
What about reaction phrases? They're so important for conversations.
Definitely. Things like, oh, really? That's nice. That's great. I understand. Or that makes sense. They show interest and make the conversation flow.
I also love good to know or I didn't expect that. Those are common in real life chats.
Another tip for sounding more natural is learning how to ask questions the way native speakers do. For example, instead of, "Do you want to go to the cinema with me?" people say, "Want to go to the movies?"
Yes, questions get shorter and more friendly. Or do you need help becomes need help?
And "Are you ready?" becomes "Ready?"
Exactly. It's all about simplifying while keeping the meaning.
Let's talk about mistakes now. Many learners want to avoid mistakes at all costs.
Yes, but the truth is that mistakes are part of sounding natural. Even native speakers make mistakes. They pause, repeat, change words, correct themselves.
That's true. Real English is full of kind of, maybe, actually. Those small fillers make the speech sound human.
Yes. For example, instead of today I went to the store to buy some vegetables, a native speaker might say, so today I went to the store, I needed some vegetables.
More relaxed, more natural.
Exactly.
Something else that helped me was using English for small decisions in daily life. For example, when choosing what to eat, I would ask myself in English, "What do I feel like today?" Or maybe I'll make pasta.
Yes, that's a great method. I often describe little things in English in my mind, like, I'm tired, I need water, I should clean my desk, I want to rest. These tiny thoughts build fluency.
Absolutely. And the more you do that, the more automatic English becomes.
Let's talk about listening. Listening is a huge part of sounding native.
Completely. When you listen to real conversations, you learn rhythm, tone, and pronunciation.
Yes, for example, natives don't say, I am going to, they say, I'm gonna. They don't say, I want to, they say, I wanna.
Exactly. These changes make English flow more naturally.
But learners don't need to use them immediately. They can start by recognizing them first.
Yes, understanding comes before using.
Another important aspect of real life English is reacting emotionally, like saying, oh no, that's amazing, I'm happy for you, I'm sorry to hear that, that's disappointing.
Exactly. Emotional reactions make conversations feel real.
And they help connect with people.
Yes, and connecting with people is the whole point of language.
Something else that made me sound more natural was asking follow up questions, even simple ones. For example, really? Why? Or what happened next?
Yes, that's great. Follow-up questions show interest and keep the conversation flowing.
And you don't need complicated grammar, just short, friendly questions.
Let's give a quick example of how natural English sounds.
Go ahead.
I went to the gym today.
Oh, nice. How was it?
Pretty good. A bit tiring, but good.
Did you go along?
Yeah, just me. I wanted some quiet time.
Simple, natural, real.
Exactly.
I like reminding learners that English doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be understandable and natural.
Yes, and over time, with practice, it becomes more fluent, step by step. Exactly our topic today.
David, I really enjoyed this conversation. It feels good to talk about how we both learn to sound more natural.
Same here, Nora, and I hope our listeners feel encouraged to take small steps every day.
Yes, don't rush, don't stress, just keep practicing.
Thanks again, everyone, for joining us here at Fluency Podcast.
Take care, keep learning, and speak a little English every day.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.